Okay. I was going to say, that climb wasn't bad other than steep knees, yada yada, but slow we're going here. Okay, and welcome to the supposed hard day. Took me a little while to find the perfect little groove for my tent, especially because I wasn't about to rip down a bunch of branches or anything back here when I'm dispersed camping, but this was a cozy little camp. This was one of those mornings I had to force myself to sit there and edit yesterday's video. I saw the sun hit the trees and I really wanted to just pack up and go for it. But I know what happens if I fall behind on videos, so I do my best not to do that unless I really have to. I do enjoy making these videos. I'm always excited to get back to it after I've been off trail for a while, but it is hard to stay consistent on them, especially with kind of how I've developed liking to do them. You know, it takes a good amount of time each morning. And some mornings I'm just not feeling the rolling over in my sleeping bag and editing something for an hour or two. But both Jen and I really, really enjoy having these to look back on. The fact that we can, you know, pull up a random day on the AT and jump back into what it actually felt like to be out there. That's been the real value. In addition, we get notes periodically from folks in less than great circumstances talking about how much they enjoy being able to see the trail through our eyes and how it makes it easier for them to get through whatever their circumstances are. And that always makes me feel good, as opposed to my IT career where it was often working my butt off and helping clients, but at the end of the day, making more money for people who are often jerks. I was hidden really well last night, so I'm having a bit of an adventure getting back to trail. You ever wonder how people get lost? Try wandering around without a bearing in a dense forest like this. Did see some fresh bear scat. Sadly, still no bear or moose this entire trip yet. I could have actually backtracked the way I came in and it would have been easier. And I'm kind of having regrets not doing that at the moment, but I didn't want to create a use trail near something and have somebody get confused and wander off the wrong direction and get lost. Plus, kind of defeats the purpose of dispersed camping like this if you create a site that others find and use. It did seem like maybe it was a little colder last night. I was actually, well, it was colder. I was able to sleep inside my sleeping bag mostly, but hardly the fearsome amount that has been the talk of the trail the last day or two. Again, I've got gear prepared to be out here for a lot longer than most of the folks I'm running into. They're out here for weeks. I've still got better part of 2 months. Okay, there we go. See, this is the price I pay for my campsite enjoyment. I wish I could say I was just super stoked and energized and excited and jogging up the hills this morning. You know, I'm like 10 days in at this point. I'm tired every morning. I generally kind of perk up later in the afternoon once I get warmed up though. And the two things that really help that are views and people to chat with. And it is a weekend. I am on the busiest part of the long trail. I'm on a heavy use day hiker area and there's supposed to be views, so. I really wanted to do some more game last night, but I don't have a good handle out here as far as where the terrain changes, where I can't do a proper L&T dispersed camp. So I erred on the side of staying a little lower. And it was a nice camp. Take that, knees. West Virginia. Mountain Mama. I guess that's my goal. Gotta be about 3 more miles or so. So hard to tell distance out here. For the record, I did come across a few spots where I could have camped up higher, but I wouldn't have been hidden. And one of my pet peeves with certain others has been camp wherever the hell they want and causing issues for people behind them. There was somebody ahead of me on the American Discovery Trail who was doing that, was setting up in just some really dumb areas. And then here I come along behind and I'm getting approached by locals who think I'm some homeless guy living near their neighborhood. So Jen laughs at me, but I always take extra precaution to not be found out. More for the people behind me than me. Though I have talked to people who have had landowners with guns come up to them, when they were camped someplace they weren't. I also have a subscription to Gaia, which I don't like what the company behind them is doing, but at least so far they are the best public-private land layer I've been able to find that's, downloadable. So that gives me a little context. Am I on city, state property? Am I on private property? I'll also have a satellite layer if it's something like last year on the American Discovery Trail. So I'm trying to make sure I'm not near any groomed grass or anything that has a structure on it. And like I said, I get made fun of for being so overly cautious on that sort of thing, but I want other people to be able to enjoy the same things I'm enjoying. Just ran into somebody coming the other way. He is yet another person who's doing everything but the AT overlap. That seems to be the most popular plan out here. He said there were so many people at the Montclair Glen shelter that's in 4 miles or so. He had to go off on one of the side trails to get to a tent site camp that's not on the long trail. Looking at the map, I kind of figure there's certain spots you can just tell folks are going to stack up because they want to do the bigger climb earlier in the day, which I appreciate. Lets me judge the crowds and make other choices. Camel's Hump is that back one. I can just make out some people on the ridge. Got a couple of trail runners passing me up here. Just starting running into the day hiker crowds. I was really hoping for more time above the trees, but oh well. Okay. I was going to say, that climb wasn't bad other than steep knees, yada yada, but slower going here. And now for the knee abusing part. Camel's Hump is so much cooler looking from this side. From the other side you could see it, but you don't have that rock face. And slowly getting more color change. I do have 2 more summits today. Forget what their names are. The second one is Burnt Rock, and there are comments on that basically saying, Southbounders, congratulations, coming up is the easiest trail so far. Probably better I did this today versus yesterday. This is the water source at this next shelter. Yeah, everybody keeps commenting how low the water is, but it's enough to collect. I have done trails where this would have been a strong flow for me. So. So I talked to somebody who had got here last night, and then they said there were a lot of people, so that's why they went to the tent site. And that is why I do not stay at shelters. Stuff like that happens quite a bit. Guy that was just here did have one of the bear sprays on for the Vermont grizzlies. I also like this. So you can barricade yourself in the shelter if you see a friggin' black bear outside. I am always impressed by these things. If I was ever on a trail where I was sure I wasn't going to have anybody else come by, I do stay in them on occasion. It's just not worth the close quarters. So I think I'm going to try and make it at least as far as Cowles. Plan to fill up there and then see if I can't make it a bit further before finding a camp. Yeah. Oh, hey, not quite done yet, huh? Welcome to mile 100. I'm hoping I can make it to the shelter before it's dark, fill up with water, and then I've seen options for camping. So it looked like there were 2 tents that I saw, and then 2 guys that looked like they were settled into the lean-to. They were surprised that I wasn't trying to stay there tonight. But the terrain has looked like there are a lot more established water source or established campsites around, so I'm pretty sure I can find something here. Hopefully pretty quick, because it is getting dark and my filter isn't working super fast. Okay, 6:55 filled up for the night. Now I just really need a campsite in the next little bit. Okay, nothing fancy, but this will work for tonight. Not nearly the nicest camp I've seen in the last couple of hours, but it'll work for tonight. Home sweet home.